Deuteronomy 23:23. V'chi techdal lindor, lo yihyevecha chet. Now, in today's video, we start with a vav here, and then we get another key like we saw in verse 22. This time, I think the key is still if, setting up another scenario. And since it's a different scenario, I think it's appropriate here for this vav conjunction to be a but. And so but if you cease, here we have a call imperfect to ms. Notice the tav preformative here. The verbal root is chet dalet lamed chadal, to cease or to refrain or something like that. But if you cease to vow, so you notice the verbal root here, nadar, and we get a call infinitive construct here plus the lamed preposition. Now let me show you here some of the morphology, because you might be looking at a noon with a silent schwa that has not assimilated, and you might think, well, what in the world's going on there? Because I thought those assimilated. But if we do the call infinitive construct, we get something like nedor, just straight up like that, no problem. If we add the lamed preposition to this, as it normally would point with the vocal schwa, we end up with two vocal schwas side by side. Now, my professor taught that this is what we call a schwa fight, and when we have a schwa fight, this schwa becomes the short vowel, just like you see it here. When that happens, this does indeed become a silent schwa, and we know that because of the dagesh that appears in the begad kefat letter that follows. But it becomes what my professor called a political schwa. It kind of rides both sides of the aisle. It is silent enough to warrant the dagesh lene. It is not silent enough to assimilate. So, something you maybe didn't even notice or care about, but there's a little bit of detailed morphology for you. So if you cease to vow, then it shall not exist. Here's a call imperfect third masculine singular. Again, the it here is that generic situation of having made a vow. It shall not exist with you as sin guilt. So if you don't even make the vow to start with, then not repaying something won't be a situation, and it won't exist as sin guilt.